On today's episode, we're going to talk about semi-absentee franchise ownership and what that means. So semi-absentee is just like it sounds. You're semi-absent from the day-to-day of the business, but does not mean you're not working on the business. You have to be a great leader. You have to be great at hiring, and you have to be great at systems and processes. Now, when you're looking for a business model, when you're looking to invest in a franchise, and you're looking for a semi-absentee model, you really got to hone in and do your due diligence and really see what responsibilities, what roles you're going to be doing in this business in the operational standpoint. And as you're going through and making your due diligence call, your validation calls with other franchisees in the system, it's really important to understand what it's actually going to take to make this business thrive. I think a lot of people get excited about hearing these buzzwords like semi-absentee, semi-passive. But the reality of it is, it's a moving business. It's got a lot of moving parts. It's not like buying a rental property and then getting a property manager. That is more passive for sure. So just be aware that businesses can create a great living, great cash flow, great lifestyle, but you also you need to know what you're getting into. So as you're doing your due diligence and looking at these different franchise models, really understand what kind of marketing will the franchise concept do for you. Do they have a call center? Are they setting appointments? Do they help with training and recruiting and retaining employees? You're going to want to know all this because this is going to be critical, especially if you're still in your corporate job and you have limited time. You really got to understand what you're getting involved in. I think that's the most important thing. As I have many conversations with people, it's really understanding that it's going to be a lot of work, regardless of the systems and the processes of the franchise. It's not set and forget it. You got to dive in. You got to understand what you're getting into. You got to think about the pain points of the business as you're growing the business. I think we get excited, we get emotional when we're looking at entrepreneurship and getting into businesses, and we think, okay, this is going to be great and we're going to make so much money. The reality of it is hiring the right people, keeping the right people, dealing with work drama and employee arguments and so forth can be really a headache. So before you just jump headfirst into business ownership, I think you really need to understand that semi-absentee doesn't mean a passive business model. You got to be really good at delegation, at following systems, and also being a great leader. So when you're doing your diligence, really think about this as you're understanding the different business models and how they work, how they operate. I think it's so critical that a lot of people overlook this because they get super excited. I'm going to own this business. It's going to be great. And, we're going to make all this money. So that was kind of where I wanted to go with this episode and just really kind of dive in. The other thing you want to know is what's the growth and scalability of the business as a semi-absentee business model? How do you grow it? If it's a home service business, usually that's adding a technician and adding a truck. Add a tech, add a truck. And how many service calls can you do per day, per tech, right? And you can systemize and really project as you're doing your projections to figure out at what point you're going to add tech number 2 or 3 and truck number 2 or 3. I think that will really help you as you're exploring different business ownership models to navigate and figure out what your skill sets and lifestyle best align with. Because I don't want you to get into a business and you wake up and go, why the heck did I get in this business? I didn't realize it was going to be so painful. You really got to take your time. You got to validate with other people in the system that own the franchise in other markets and really dive in and understand, what were their struggles when they got started? What are their struggles today? How are their numbers? What was the toughest part about starting the business? Was it the lead generation? Was it hiring the right staff? I think this all plays a crucial role to help you identify what business model might be the best fit for you in the future as you're going through this. And once again, semi-absentee ownership provides a transitional path for corporate life to entrepreneurship, or it also helps somebody who has other businesses and really doesn't have the time to spend their whole time in this particular business, but they're a great operator. They can follow systems, they can lead, they can delegate. So that's what I really want to kind of emphasize in this episodes. So semi-absentee to me makes the most sense because it's usually a scalable business model. but I think it goes back to really understanding the franchise concept and the leadership there on there, and really have them dig into it with you on why and how this is a great semi-absentee model. I think a lot of people are looking for semi-absentee franchise models, and some franchise concepts roll out, after they start their due diligence, and they make it seem a little bit easier than it may be. So just really investigate that part. I do think if you're a great leader, or you can be trained to be a great leader, semi-absentee makes the most sense for most of us out there that don't want to buy ourselves another job. If you're looking to acquire a business, stop scrolling on Biz Buy Sell and visit franchiseresellelistings.com. We'll do a customized search. You can get on our weekly distribution where we're sending new inventory weekly to your inbox. So visit franchiseresellelistings.com and opt in today. See you there. Now, there are managed models which are passive or somewhat passive. There's nothing that's 100% passive. These managed models are basically when the franchisor manages the business for you. Then again, you're going to want to be on top of who they're hiring. You're going to want to be on the calls. You're going to want to know. You're going to need to look at the P&Ls. You need to know where the money's coming, where it's going. But we do have business models where they are a managed model for you. In the painting industry, in a lot of service-based businesses, we're starting to see some more of these managed models. And then again, you guys are paying a margin. You're paying for that management, so your net will be less, but in theory, you're spending way less time. There's also models that are more like investor models, where they have a CEO model where you hire the regional manager, and the regional manager oversees the operation of the business. Typically, that's a service-based business as well. We have one in the painting business, for example, and that regional manager helps hire and manages the other managers in each territory, and that's a CEO model. And they're saying, hey, you can spend 5 to 10 hours a week if you're in the CEO model. But most semi-passive business models, they still want you in there for 15 to 20 hours per week. It's not hands-off by any means. Just want to clarify that. If you're interested in exploring different semi-absentee business models, or the CEO model and or the managed model, you can go to bookwithbo.com and book a discovery call. We can figure out what business model may make the most sense. Some people come to me because they're looking to add a business or a franchise to their portfolio, but they don't have the time. So we got to explore these different factors, and maybe owning laundromat or maybe one of these managed models makes the most sense for that type of person. A lot of those people really want the tax advantages as well as the potential and upside cash flow. So some people are looking at it more from a tax strategy standpoint. They're making a lot in their W-2 corporate business. They're in the tech world or wherever. They need to offset some of that. Owning a franchise with systems and processes and a lot of equipment to depreciate makes a lot of sense for them. So anyways, hope that helps. Go to bookwithbo.com and we can talk about financing these businesses and identifying the right business for you and what you're looking to do. Anyways, hope that helped. I'll see you on the next episode. Hey guys, Bo Eckstein here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. We talk all things financing. I've been in the lending industry for over 20 years, and I'm happy to answer your questions and provide great content.